What is up, Knights of Vex? Your boy Vex is officially back from vacation, and that means I finally had time to finish my long-awaited Conquest guide for Jedi training Leia, a very highly anticipated Conquest character that is going to be doing massive things for Jedi Master Luke. This is not a character you want to skip out on. She is going to be bringing JML, who has been in need of a Conquest lifter unit for a very long time, to extreme heights. I cannot wait to get my hands on this character, but first we have to make sure we get there. We need to be able to get Red Crate in order to unlock Leia on day one, and today I have the best guide for you out there to get to Red Crate. We have really in-depth infographics going over feats, global feats, double dipping, triple dipping, you name it. Getting 3 feats done in one battle, cheesing, you name it. This is going to be the best guide out there for you. Now, you're going to see, I'm going to explain everything over in these infographic slides in depth detail. If you want to find these infographics, you need to join my Discord and go into the infographics section. Very useful. I use it every single conquest, and it helps me get to Red Crate and finish the conquest really fast. So what I also recommend, the template that you see of the infographics as you're looking them over, if you want to create squad loadouts in game so you can quickly select the squads and each battle go and select a lot easier, it's going to make your life a lot easier. So I want to mention that out of the way. And also, guys, these take me an extremely long time. This took me over 8 to 12 hours to do on a multiple day cycle. If you guys could show your support by hitting a like on the video, sharing it, commenting, and subscribing to the channel, I really appreciate and shows your support for me. And I was going over my analytics, guys, over the past couple months. Over 50% of you guys are not subscribed, but you are watching. So if you really want to see your boy Vex grow to a bigger audience, become a big YouTuber one day, I would really appreciate if you guys hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out, and it's the best free way to support your content creators. So with that said, I want to go right into the slides and explain every single thing, starting with key notes of how to progress the conquest and things that I would recommend for you guys to keep an eye out on. So let's go ahead and go over to the slides. So this is going to be the slideshow. You're going to see the thumbnail. Now, I'll be moving my webcam once we get to the infographics, but first thing I want to start with is key notes. Things to keep an eye out throughout the conquest and things that are going to help you get prepared. So the first thing is that in Sector 5, it's not essential, but it will make your life a lot easier if you find a droideka node in Sector 5, because there's a lot of feats that you could cheese in there, including buff disruption. You now have to get that 30 times. The only character in the game that can do that is going to be Stormtrooper Luke. Not only that, there's also potency up. There's another way to do that cheese with Old Ben using CLS. So that's a really good node to find. If you guys don't find it, it's not a big deal. We can utilize the F-34 training droid, which you're going to unlock going through the hard pass, 250 battles or key cards going through the challenge path. You're going to get that data discs. But droideka node in Sector 5 is going to help you. The second thing, I include this on every single conquest for early or mid-game players, the Maul Canderous and Wat Tambor combo makes Conquest easy mode. It takes your low level, low star, low relic characters, and they're never touched. The enemy team never takes a turn with certain data disc combinations, which I will be going over later on in separate videos for each sector guide. I also like to do those. Each sector for the upcoming conquest will have individual videos, but regardless, that combination is key. So if you're worried about not having the newer conquest characters up and running, or some of the new era units and new characters up and running at relics or high gear, you're absolutely fine. The Maul cheese is going to help you, so really got to utilize that to your strategy. Next key note, you do not need Cassian and/or Unlocked or the ISB at max high level gear or relic to get Red Crate. You simply do not have to do that. There are ways around the feats of Undermine and all the other shenanigans that come along with the new era. So do not worry if you do not have these characters at 5-star Relic 13. They could be unlocked level 1, gear 1. It does not matter. I'm going to show you guys a way how to do it later on. Next thing I want to talk about, Bo-Katan Mandalore is going to be extremely helpful for this unlock. There is a feat for full light side Mandalorians. To be able to do that without Bo-Katan Mandalore is a little difficult. You could also get like 3 feats in one using that team. So I want to mention that I think it's Sector 3 or 4. Bo-Katan unlock is going to help you a lot. So if you guys just have new Lightspeed tokens or you're working on getting that team up and running, highly suggest you work on Bo-Katan Mandalore for this conquest. She's extremely helpful. Now, this is going to be extremely important, and it's going to tie into the end of the video for Feats to skip. I will move my webcam for this one over here. Read this carefully. JML or Satele or Ahsoka or Luthen. You need one of them. One of them out of the 4 is needed for Red Crate, and I'm going to explain it more later. But practically, Jedi Lessons is tied down to 3 characters, and practically it needs 2 Galactic Legends or a Conquest character to do it. No other character in the game will do it. Huyang needs Ahsoka to get it done. Satele has it, and JML has it. So if you guys don't have either of those, it's going to be difficult. And Luthen Rail for Rebel Network with Clea. You're not going to get Red Crate unless you have one of the 4. It's going to be extremely difficult and highly unlikely. So one of the 4, I highly suggest getting up and running if you don't. JML has been in the game for a long time. More of an easy Galactic Legend to obtain. Satele's a newer Conquest character that's a little difficult. Ahsoka is really hard to obtain, and Luthen takes a long time. So if you have them up and running, good for you. One of them is going to be needed. And the last big key point I want to mention is that the new era units, like I said earlier, do not need to be at Relics. So do not worry and give up on this conquest if you don't have the new Cassian team, the new ISB team at High Relic or Stars. You're going to get Red Crate if you follow this guide. So with the keynotes out of the way, I now want to get into the fun stuff, the infographics explaining each and everything. So we're going to move on over, and I'm going to now move my webcam over here, and I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller. So in case you guys are wondering, these are the infographics I'm talking about over here. I think I got to make me a little bit smaller. Sometimes it's a hard adjust on OBS. So I'm going to go over here, and that looks about right. So I'm going to hide my webcam for a second. This is what's going to look like. I have one each individually for each sector, going over in detail of everything. I'm going to kind of explain everything right now so you guys can see. So on the left-hand side is going to be the sector feats for each individual sector. On the right is going to be the corresponding global feats, which is going to be for the entire conquest. What I like to do is color code the teams that overlap and double or triple stack some feats. So you're going to see there's a lot of different colors of teams. It's because they're overlapping feats. So you're going to see on the left is the regular sector, the right is the global, and I also included tiny icons of the buff or debuff corresponding to the feat. Makes it a little bit easier to understand and also shows which character is giving what to the team. So what I'm going to start with first is just quickly go over the global feats because it's going to be repeated a lot. On the right side, win 20 battles with Vel Sartha in your squad. She's a newer character. She does not need to survive. That's a key note. Does not need to survive. What I'm recommending, if you guys have Cassian Undercover unlocked, no brainer, nice and easy. You can get your Undermine feat with that, which is going to be the one underneath, as well as stack offense up with Clea. So it's nice and easy. If you guys don't have Cassian unlocked, you can use Saw Gerrera with a regular Rebel Fighter squad. That's also going to tie into defeat 50 units with Rebel Fighter units, 3 feats in 1. So you can get, Vel Sartha in your squad, you can get Undermine, you can get Rebel Fighter units. Very, very helpful to get it. If you guys don't have a Rebel Fighter leader, Saw Gerrera is a very helpful one. I highly recommend you guys get him up and running. Now, it's not included on the slide, but if you don't have Rebel Fighters for whatever reason up and running, use the Maul Cheese with Vel Sartha. You can do that nice and easy. It's not going to be difficult at all. Now, what I want to mention underneath is Undermine. There's only 2 characters in the game that can do it, or 2 squads. It's the Cassian squad and the ISB squad. But the cool thing with Dedra Meero is she does not need to be tied to ISB to do it. So the team I'm recommending, which you're going to be able to cheese this in one battle, I'm telling you, Rex Lead, Dedra Meero, Wat Tambor, C-3PO, and crew. So in order for Dedra Meero to apply Retaliate and Undermine, the Undermine is there's no condition. But for Retaliate, you're going to see on the left-hand side, she needs to attack an enemy that has Expose. That's where C-3PO comes in. He's going to inflict Expose on a basic. Dedra does a basic against the exposed enemy, and she's going to get Retaliate. That's the best way to do it. That's the cheese. And crew is going to be your tank with Wat Tambor with the tank tech. He's going to be permanently taunting the entire battle. If you guys have JML, it's going to be even easier because he's a Galactic Legend tank, but crew is more for the free-to-play aspect. Rebel Fighters is self-explanatory. If you guys don't have... you could use Leia even with Drogon and have the kills with Drogon. That's another possibility, but I'm showing you guys how to stack the different feats all at once. and Rebel Fighters are going to be your best bet. Underneath this, offense up to 500 times. I know it sounds like a lot, but I promise you by the time you get to the end of Conquest, this is going to be absolutely a breeze because a lot of teams give offense up. There's no reason to cheese this all in one battle. You probably could, but so many teams are going to do this. By the time you get to Sector 3 or 4, maybe even earlier, you're going to have it done 500 times, I promise you. For the first one, it's going to be Revan Squad. It's going to tie into the buffs on the squad on the left. But quickly showing you guys, those are the offense up. I like Revan and Queen Amidala. And then Purge, it's going to be the same throughout the Conquest. You're going to see Inquisitors are going to be your obvious best bet. If you guys don't have Reva, Balin is another great option because Barak does apply Purge on an assist, and the whole team does give offense up. So it's very, very helpful throughout the Conquest. Now, what I want to talk about is going to be the sector feats now. First up, Retaliate 15 times. Not that hard. Not that hard at all. And now, if you're a newer player and you have a very low gear Dedra Miro, you don't have Darkside Ray available. If you're endgame, Darkside Ray has an AoE Retaliate. You can get that done very quick. You could reset her cooldowns with Hux. This is an easy one and done type of battle, not hard at all. So if you have Darkside Ray, you're in luck. Retaliate is easy. If you don't have her, and you don't have a full ISB squad, and you want to get Retaliate, Rex, Dedra, Watt, C-3PO, and crew. Same concept that I mentioned on the global feats. Just got to pay attention to how the kit works. Hit the enemy that has exposed with a basic with Dedra, and she's going to hit Retaliate. She can also apply Undermine to an ally. I suggest putting it on crew, or whoever your tank is. You can get that done very easily. So that's a nice and easy cheese. If you find the right node, you could probably do a full auto kind of situation. But if you want to ensure you get it done in one battle, probably manual. I will showcase it in the Sector 1 guide later on. Now, next up, grant at least 100 buffs. Really, really easy. Light side characters are really known for granting buffs. I'm recommending Jedi Knight Revan with Bastila, Yoda, Shaak Ti, and Padawan Obi-Wan, because if you have Padawan Obi-Wan's Omicron, he gives out a ton of buffs. This is going to be nice and easy. Bastila gives the buffs to Yoda. Yoda spreads the buffs to the team. It's nice and easy. 1 to 3 battles, and you're going to be absolutely fine. Next really good option is going to be Queen Amidala, who also applies dots, which is going to tie into the feed down below. With Padawan Obi-Wan, Shaak Ti, and Kelleran Beck, all those characters are giving offense up, so it makes it really, really easy. Shaak Ti on a basic, Kelleran Beck when he does his Mass Swarm, all giving offense up. Great ways to also apply buffs. Queen Amidala is applying a ton of buffs with her middle ability. Now, attempt to inflict 300 dots on enemies. So many different ways to do this. I'm showing 2 free-to-play options. If you have Lord Vader, you might as well can use him, but it's going to take a couple battles. But for most free-to-play, Palpatine, Mara Jade, Darth Vader duels N, does apply dots, and Darth Sidious, all dot characters. Just pretty much find the right node. You can get this done really quick. And if you want to get it done in one battle, you'll find an Imperial Trooper node and just throw in Tuskens. Tuskens are going to make this absolutely easy work. And just got to find the right node. That's a one and done. Not too bad of a Sector 1. Now to end the Sector 1, it's going to be win 10 battles with KX Security Droid surviving. The Maul Cheese is going to be your friend. No, it's just the same concept over and over. The enemy team literally does not take a turn. You just have to ensure that you have a good enough stamina. Or there's certain squads that will punish you for low stamina, but for the most part, most teams, you can get this all the way down to 10 or 1%, and you're going to be absolutely fine. If you guys don't, want to use the Maul Cheese and you have the team already up and running and you have them at high star and relic because of the CG mess up, go ahead with full ISB squad. You're going to get your Undermine, your offense up with Dedra, and your Retaliate with her. Nice and easy. Not too bad of a Sector 1. Could be, it's not that grindy. You can get these done all in 1 or 2 battles, besides the win 10 battles with the KX Security Droid surviving. So that one's not bad at all. Moving on to Sector 2. Going to go a little bit faster here because a lot of it's going to be a repeat from the global feats, but the first one is going to be win 10 battles with DTMG in your squad. The cool thing about this is that DTMG's team can do multiple feats in one. Scout Trooper Peridia gives offense up to the team on a basic. Scout Trooper gives an AoE offense up to the team as well. And Night Trooper gives critical chance down to the entire enemy team, which is extremely helpful. If you guys don't have DTMG up and running or a full squad of him, but he's unlocked in your roster at level 1, Gear 1, Mandalorian Cheese. Nice and easy. Now, next up, critical chance down. Same thing tying in above. Night Trooper's second ability is giving an AoE critical chance down. That's a great way to double stack defeats. Now, the one that you're probably going to get done in one battle is going to be a full squad of Geos, because not only is the team giving offense up, but every time Sun Fac attacks out of turn, he's applying critical chance down. So if you find the right node, I got this done a couple conquests a while ago when this was like another feat. If you find like a Mon Mothma node and you swap targets, this is a one and done battle. One and done. And the cool part is that Geo Spy on his second ability, or their second ability, applies an AoE expose on the enemy team. That's a great way to tie into the feat down below, which is attempt to expose enemies 20 times. So Geos is a squad that a lot of the community should have. Needed for a Wat Tambor unlock, great for early game. So Geos are going to be really good at tackling not only 2, but 3 feats, along with offense up on the right. Now, win 10 battles with no attackers on your squad. I am throwing in Leia. I typically find this one to be the most annoying if you don't have a Galactic Legend, but you still can get it done. If you have Jedi Leia, who's a very well unlocked Galactic Legend, just throw in R2, Captain Rex, Mon Mothma, and Radis, all support characters, and a tank. Nice and easy. If you guys don't have a Galactic Legend available, Dash Rendar with Quill, IG-11, Vandor Chewbacca, and Ochi Hondo, all accessible. Nice, very good way to get it done as well. Now, towards the bottom, attempt to expose enemy 20 times. Same thing with the Geos. Just attack out of turn for the crit chance down, and use Spy's second ability for the AoE expose. We have CLS. Every time you're attacking with a basic with a rebel, you're inflicting expose. This is a one and done type of battle. So if you have a CLS team up and running, just as easy. But I like tying in with the Geos because of the critical chance down. The only thing I did differently on the right-hand side for a couple of the Rebel fighter squads is I took away attackers. I only did support and tanks. So what I pretty much did is just swapped out the attackers with supports and tanks. So you see there's Cassian Andor, regular, and K2SO. And then on the right-hand side, I put in Cara Dune and Baze Malbus. But some of the other squads are still going to include tanks. But I just wanted to, or attackers. I just wanted to include some of the particular units that you could tie in that don't have attackers on your squad. So that's going to wrap up Sector 2. Now, moving on to Sector 3. The first feat we got to talk about is going to be gain overcharge 20 times. It sounds harder than it is because not a lot of characters can do it. It's going to be a breeze. I'm recommending the same exact team, just swapping out characters depending if you have them up and running. Stap and KX Security Droid are the only 2 characters that can do it. Do the same cheese as I showed earlier. Rex Lead, Wat Tambor, C-3PO. You can even swap out C-3PO for Barriss with crew. This is a one and done type of battle again. Stap with the weapon tech, crew with the tank tech. Keep recycling turns. Stap gains 5 stacks of overcharge with the second special. Every time it does an ability without its second special, it's removing a stack of overcharge. So that's an easy one and done battle. I'll showcase it in the sector guide. Same thing with KX Security Droid. It's able to remove stacks of overcharge in its kit. This is probably going to be the easiest one out of all conquests. Win at least 20 battles without losing a unit. This is any of the teams listed, no matter what you have in your roster. Just don't have a character go down and you're going to be fine. Now, attempt to stun enemies 50 times. The most free-to-play team to do this is going to be your Phoenix squad because of multiple stuns in the team. They have multiple ways of giving offense up as well. Every time Zeb attacks an enemy with Daze, they get stunned. It's so easy. All you have to do is get out ahead, which you more than likely will with Captain Rex. Find the right node, keep doing the attacking out of turn, and having Zeb stun the enemy team. And that one's going to be a nice, easy 1 or 2 battles. If you guys want to swap it up, I do like the Separatist team with Trench. Very good at stunning. Every ability that Count Dooku uses that's an attack is a stun. Trench has multiple stuns, so I really like this team here. That should be a one and done battle as well, sometimes against a crew node. This one's going to be a little annoying. I mentioned this earlier in the video. Gain Jedi Lessons 25 times. The problem with this is that it's tied down to very hard characters to get. Jedi Master Luke is obviously a Galactic Legend. He's not the hardest character to get, but he is a GL. He is a Jedi Lessons character. Satil Shan is a Jedi Lessons character. She's a newer Conquest unit. Everyone might not have her yet. And the third one is going to be Ahsoka with Hoi Yang. Very out of reach for most players. So this is going to be a make or break for the Conquest. This or Luthen Rail. So like I mentioned earlier, you have to have one of the 4 to get this done. But the good news is that the team has a bunch of offense up. They have a bunch of stuns as well, so it's a great way to double or triple dip. Now, the global feats are mostly the same. I swapped out the characters with offense up, or the teams with offense up to showcase more of the sector. You can get it done very easily here. And I'm showcasing all the different characters that are applying stun, offense up. You guys know the deal. Nice and easy. Moving on to Sector 4, and the first one, the most annoying feat in the entire conquest is gain Rebel Network 15 times. Don't believe this is possible in one single battle. It's got to be 15 separate battles, and it's just obnoxious, but I will figure out a way to do this for anyone that needs it. But for the most part, if you guys are endgame and you have every single character in your roster, this is the sole feat to skip in the entire conquest. It is so annoying and obnoxious. I actually hate it. The fact that you can't, it has to be a forced 15 times. It's a really hard win condition. Luthen's got to drop below 25% health, tied in with Clea. It's just not the easiest. Not the easiest all. But we will find a way to do it. Those are going to be your two separate options. Now, this is where the Bo-Katan Mandalore synergy comes in. She's really good at, obviously, many different feats here, but winning 10 battles with a full squad of light side Mandalorians, she's an absolute no-brainer. The Mandalorians don't really have a good lead besides Bo-Katan. Armor is going to be the second best lead. So, what the positive with this is that you're getting 3 feats in one, or technically 4. 4 feats. You're getting the 10 Mandalorian battles, you're getting the offense up from IG and Grogu, the defense up, and blind. You're getting 4 different feats, as you can see. Bo's mentioned 4 separate times. So the defense up on the middle ability from IG, the blind from the second ability, and the offense up from the unique. So this one's a no-brainer. Bo-Katan is super clutch in this sector, an absolute MVP. If you don't want to use Bo for the defense up, this is a one-and-done type of battle. Clone Wars Chewbacca on the leadership gives defense up whenever an ally is hit. I believe it's a 50% chance, or maybe it's a certain percentage, but whenever your ally is getting hit, you're getting defense up. I recommend a full squad of tanks for more survivability. Every time you're getting hit, you're getting that buff. That's an easy one and done. Now the blind, like I mentioned, IG is really good at this, but if you have Jabba in your roster, if you go in with him solo, you could get this done in a single battle on probably one of the mini boss nodes. So Jabba solo is going to be a beast here for getting blind 80 times. That one's a no-brainer. Now, same concept as the previous sectors, swapped out the different teams for the offense up, and nice and easy. As you can see, I included the little buff for the Rebel Network. Very, very obnoxious, but a lot of the feats I'm mentioning can get a lot of these other feats done as well. Like Balin has blind, Marak has defense up on a basic for the entire team. Kyle Katarn has a AoE defense up as well. So many different ways of tackling it with many different teams, giving you a bunch of different options. We're now going to move on to the final sector, which is Sector 5. And this one's not going to be that bad. It's really not going to be that bad. The first team I'm going to recommend, or for the first feat, is going to be gain tactical supremacy 25 times. Not a lot of characters can pull this off, so you got to be careful. It's Grand Moff Tarkin, it is Trench, and there's one other character, but this is going to be the easiest one you can do so far. Recommending Palpatine lead, because he gives offense up on an AoE, OG Vader, Mara Jade, Tarkin for the potency up and the tactical supremacy, and Darth Vader Duel's End, because in Darth Vader Duel's End's unique, he's giving an AoE potency up to the team for one turn. Great way to triple stack offense up, tactical supremacy, and potency up. So all 3 feats are easy with that one team. Now, if you guys don't want to use that team, Trench is a great option here because he does give an AoE tactical supremacy. The reason why I'm not including Jango here is because Jango is going to be needed for another feat down below, which is going to be win 10 battles with Boba and Jango Fett in your squad. Great way to utilize this is going to be the Mandalorian cheese, because Jango is already on the squad. He's a dark side Mandalorian. Adding in Boba Fett is just going to make it even easier. So with the right data disc, it's absolute easy mode. If you guys don't want to use the Mandalorian cheese, you do have the new Saz Ventures up and running. Tie in with Dad Bod Boba. You got 3 Fets in one team. With Fennec Shan, you're going to get that bonus protection, and you're going to do really good stuff. So a great way to balance back and forth. Now, this one's tied down to one character, the buff disruption. It's only Stormtrooper Luke. It's kind of annoying. If you guys find a droidic node, CLS, swapping out Trupio with Stormtrooper Luke, applying it on auto basic, you're going to get 30 buff disruption in one battle. Really, really easy. You just got to find a droidic node. That's the hardest part. If you guys don't find a droidic node and you want to find a target with no AoEs, or a team with no AoEs, the Rex Cheese is going to be your way to go. Do it, apply all the techs that are necessary, stick it to auto basic, and you're going to be fine. Put the weapon tech on Stormtrooper Luke. That's a nice and easy battle. Now, for the potency up, same concept as I mentioned earlier. Great tie-in with the tactical supremacy and the offense up. It's all in the uniques. So you're going to have to do the battle maybe a couple times. It shouldn't be hard. It's really not that hard. Maybe even with the F-34 training droid, this is a one-and-done type of battle as well. So a great way to utilize that. And then another way to tie into the global feat with the Purge, Balin gives AoE offense up, AoE potency up, Kyle Katarn does potency up, Cara Dune does potency up. So great ways to tie this in together. And for the Rebel Fighter feats on the right, for the globals to tie it in with the sector, if you throw in Cassian and/or regular, he gives potency up at the beginning of battle. So great way to do this. Fifth Brother gives a potency up on an AoE. This one is not bad at all. I think this conquest is very manageable. It doesn't require Galactic Legends to like the top end or hard to get Galactic Legends. It does require either Satele, JML, or Luthen, which are conquest characters, and one Galactic Legend. So with that said, we're now going to go into 2 more slides. We're going over feats to skip, one for early game and one for late game. I'm going to explain both in detail. So I'm going to end up moving my webcam again, but this is what it looks like, guys. This is the feats and the infographic. So I'm going to make me a little bit bigger again because I want to remember for last time or for next time. So I'm going to hide this. This is also going to be my Discord. This is going over the feats to skip. On the bottom left, you're able to skip 34 key cards. 34. So I'm giving you 33 to skip. This is for mostly early to mid-game players that might not have everything. It's a little bit different than what I've shown earlier. For Sector 1, recommending skipping the Cobb Vanth feat because he's a newer conquest unit. Not everyone might have him. So I'm going to include him. Win with a full squad of ISB. Not a very popular faction. You need Imperial Probe Droid. Not many players are going to have this team up and running. That's 3 key cards there. Second sector, win using only Stranger. Again, a conquest unit, more on the newer side. Many players might not have him. Now, the reason why I have this one in a different color with Sector 4 is that you have to choose one. You could choose one to skip. So let's say you have Luthen Rail on your roster, but you don't have Satele or JML or Ahsoka, then you have to do the Rebel Network one. If you don't have Luthen and you have the other squads, then you have to do Jedi Lessons. So you can skip one or the other. That's why there's the arrow. You can't skip both. So Jedi Lessons is going to give you 25. If you don't have those teams, skip it. If you don't have Satele Shan, skip it as well. Rebel Network is tied into Luthen. Skip that. Win with Maul Hayfield. He's a newer legendary character. Not everyone's going to have him. That's 3. Sector 5, win with Cassian and/or Undercover. This is just in case anyone does not have him. You're able to skip it. If you didn't go for the 4-star variant or the 5-star, you can skip it. You do not need him for Red Crate. The last one I'm going to recommend skipping is win with a full squad of Inquisitors surviving. Typically, Inquisitors are not the best without Reva. Reva is more of a mid to late game character. If you do have Reva, good for you. You're going to be in absolutely great shape. If you have Grand Inquisitor up and running, you're more than likely going to be able to do it with certain key cards or certain data discs. With that all totaled, that's 33 total key cards you guys can skip. So you're allowed 34. This is specifically for early game. Early game, not skipping any of the globals. So want to include this. And now for players that are late game like me, I am showcasing the ones that I think are going to be more grindy and annoying that I simply do not want to do, and I'm more than likely going to skip after the first run. Win tab battles with KX Security Droid surviving. Grindy, annoying, it just takes a lot of time. I'm going to skip it. I'm going to skip the full squad of ISB. In Sector 2, I'm going to skip win 10 battles with DTMG in my squad. I'm going to skip the critical chance down 100 times. Not that it can't be cheesed, it's just more annoying, and the DTMG is grinding. Also don't like win 10 battles with the no squad of attackers in your squad. Kind of annoying. And then Sector 4, gain Rebel Network 15 times. Just absolutely the worst feat in the entire conquest. I don't recommend anybody that's late game do it. It's just simply so tedious and annoying. But that is going to wrap up this conquest guide. I hope this helped you a lot. And like I said, this took me a very long time looking up all the different feats, the characters that can do them. It takes hours, days. So I would really appreciate it if you guys dropped a like, comment your thoughts down below for that engagement, sharing it, subscribing to the channel for more content. And I can't wait to see you guys for the future sector videos. So thank you guys again. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. May the force be with you all. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.